This video is about function rules and using them to evaluate in a situation. So let's look at comparing offers to see which company might offer us a better chance for what we want. So to make money, the soccer team plans a special project to take orders for roses and deliver them on Valentine's Day. The team found two shops. Roses Are Red and Flower Power. Roses Are Red costs $20 for a service charge plus 75 cents for each rose that is bought. Flower Power is selling its roses for a service charge of $60 plus 50 cents per rose. So we want to find the cost of 3 roses for each company. So first we're going to look at Roses Are Red. So Roses Are Red has a $20 service fee and 75 cents per rose. So I can write a function rule where I have my cost is equal to 75 cents R, which means 75 cents times my rose plus my $20 service fee that I'm only going to pay once for working with the company. I'm not going to pay for each rose. So if I want 3 roses, I'm going to do 0.75 times 3 plus 20. I can just enter that into my calculator. And I get a cost of $22.25. The second company is Flower Power. Flower Power is selling its roses for a service fee of $60 and 50 cents per rose. So again, I'm going to have cost equals 0.50 R, so it's 50 cents per rose, plus $60. That's a one-time fee for working with the company. So if I want to buy 3 roses from that company, I have 0.50 times 3 plus 60. I enter that in my calculator. And I get $61.50. So if we were to write a dependency statement here, we would say that the cost of the roses depends on the number of roses. Because number of roses is my input into the equation, and my cost is what I'm getting out of the equation. Each number of roses gives a unique cost, because every time I order a different number of roses, I'm getting a different cost from each company. So in other words, we could say that the cost is a function of the number of roses. So in this case, that means then that our number of roses is the independent variable, because it's going to be my input into the equation. My cost of roses is going to be the dependent, because it's what I'm getting out of my function rule. It's my output. So we could keep adding all the costs up every time, or we can create a table and make a function rule. So in this case, our cost for Roses Are Red, remember that it's 75 cents per rose, and it's a $20 service fee. So if I want 12 roses, I have 0.75 times 12 plus $20, which gives me, when I put into my calculator, a cost of $29. For 24 roses, 0.75 times 24 plus 20 gets me $38. For 36 roses, I get 75 cents times 36 plus 20, which is $47. I'm going to keep going with my roses up by 12, so I have 48, 60, and 72. So in this, I have 75 cents times 48 roses plus $20, which gets me $56. 0.75 times 60 plus 20 gets me $65. And 0.75 times 72 plus $20 gets me 74. So if I look at these columns, what's changing, what's staying the same? the price and number of roses increases, the $20 service fee remains the same. So remember that we made a function rule earlier then. We said that our cost, for our function rule, we said that our cost is equal to 0.75 times each rows plus $20. So we can use a function rule to figure out how much roses are going to cost or how much we can get for a certain amount of money. So if I get 30 roses, I'm going to put that in for R. So I have 0.75 times 30 plus $20. So my cost would be $42.50. I can also work the other way, and I can say, well, if I have $100, how many roses can I buy? So I'm going to put 100 in for my cost. So 100 equals 0.75 R plus 20. We can subtract 20 from each side and then divide by 0.75. So 80 divided by 0.75 gets me 106.7. I can't buy part of a rose, so I'm going to say I can buy 106 roses. Now let's look at our other company. Let's look at Flower Power. So as we remember from Flower Power has a service fee of $60 and it is 50 cents per rose. So my process here, it's 50 cents per rose plus there's a service fee of $60. So my total for 12 roses would be $66. For 24 roses, it's 50 cents times 24 plus 60, so it's $72. For 36 roses, it's 50 cents times 36 roses plus $60, which would be $78. And then I can continue my number of roses, so I get 48, 60, and 72. So I'm going to substitute those values in and complete the rest of my table. So for 48 roses, it's $84. For 60 roses, it's $90. And for 72 roses, it's $96. So we are going to use our function rule, which we already decided on the first page. Our function rule was the cost is equal to 50 cents per rose plus $60. So how many roses can I get, or how much would it cost me to get 30 roses? So I'm going to put 30 again in for R. So I would have 0.50 times 30 plus 60. I'm going to throw that into my calculator, so 0.50 times 30 plus 60 is $75. How many roses can you get for $100? So I'm going to put 100 in for C. So 100 equals 0.5 R plus 60. I can subtract 60 from both sides. So 40 equals 0.50 R. When I divide by 0.50, I get R is 80. So for $100, we can get 80 roses. Let's look at another example. So a small office wants to order new light bulbs for their lamps. Bright Lights charges $32 for every bulb they sell, but nothing for shipping. So shipping is free when you go through Bright Lights. They're only charging you for each light bulb. My other company, Lights for Less, charges $24 for every bulb plus $52 for shipping. The $52 is a one-time fee, so no matter how many light bulbs I order, I pay $52 for shipping. So let's compare the amount of money for each company. So at Bright Lights, if I were to order 0 bulbs, 32 times 0 would be $0. At Lights for Less, 24 times 0, because there's no light bulbs, plus $52 for shipping would say that this would cost $52 if I placed an empty order. If I ordered 1 light bulb, 32 times 1 at Bright Lights would be $32. At Lights for Less, 24 times 1 light bulb plus my shipping of $52 would be $76. If I ordered 2 bulbs from Bright Lights, it would cost me $64. If I ordered 2 light bulbs from Lights for Less, $24 times 2 plus 52 would be $100. Pause the video and complete the rest of this chart before playing the video again. Check the table that you completed to make sure you have the correct numbers. If you need more time, pause the video again. So let's look at our function rules. So our function rule for Bright Lights, our 2 variables here are going to be C for cost and B for light bulbs. So at Bright Lights, we have a cost equals, it's $32 per bulb, and they have no shipping fee, so we're not going to add anything to this equation. Function rule, Lights for Less. So in my Lights for Less, I have cost equals, each bulb is $24, plus it's $52 to ship the bulbs for each order. So let's look at our function rule to figure out which company is going to have a better deal if I buy 10 light bulbs. So we have Bright Lights. So my cost is equal to $32 times the 10 bulbs. So at Bright Lights, it costs $320. At Lights for Less, our cost is equal to $24 times 10 bulbs, plus my one-time shipping fee of $52. So I have $240 plus 52. So my cost is $292. So Lights for Less has the better deal for 10 bulbs.